Hello, it's Noelle from Noelle Rollins Art. Today we are going to talk about pricing, which I love talking about because it's scary and it requires kind of digging deep for us. So let's start off with a scenario that often plays out. Let's say you invest $50, $100, $200 to rent a booth at a local art show or craft show. You're excited, you spend hours and hours investing your time and energy on your work. You get you plan out your table set up and you have business cards ready and you're excited and you go and set up, and next to you is somebody who has decided that they are going to lead the market with low pricing, even at the expense of them not even breaking even. Yikes. It happens all the time, and it's so wrong. So, if you are one of the people out there that think that you are going to be the low price leader and get all the sales because you have the lowest price, I just encourage you to just listen to what I have to say, and hopefully I can convince you otherwise, because you're hurting the whole market of us artists and crafters, and you're not doing yourself any favors either. You're worth more than that. So, when you are starting to price your work, so let's maybe take one of your, pieces of artwork, or if you sew something you've sewn, or, whatever you're selling. Take one of the originals, and I want you to keep that in mind as we have this talk. So there's a few factors that I use when putting together my prices. One would be the basic cost of materials. So what did it cost me for the canvas, the paint? How many hours did I put in? I tend to try to figure out, let's say I value my time at $50 an hour or $100 an hour. We'll just, throw out a number. And I know that painting took me, I sketched it for 2 hours and then I painted it for 4 hours. So that's 6 hours, so that's times 50, that's $300. I know it cost me another $50 in supplies, so that's $350. So now I have to decide, do I charge $350 for that painting? Now I'd encourage you to think a few different ways about this. One is my time that I spend painting an actual painting, I consider to be half the time, or if not less, than the actual time I will spend on artwork. And what I mean by that is painting it is one thing, but there's all of the, what about the 20 years beforehand of all of the art experiences and the classes I've taken to learn techniques, and the supplies, thousands of dollars in supplies I've purchased through the years to be able to get to a place where it only takes me 3 or 4 hours to paint that piece. I think that's worth something. And also, what about, for me, I have my things in a variety of floral shops or gift shops, hair salons, and they will take their cut, often between 30 to 50%. So if I price that artwork at $350, suddenly by the time I get my share, I'm at $175. So now I look at that, I've just spent 6+ hours, plus all the time of photographing, scanning, editing that piece to put it, make a web picture so I can put it on my, website, driving to and from any place I deliver it, sometimes many times, sometimes for years before it sells. Is that worth the $100 profit that I will make? So for me, one thing that helps me is I would immediately take that $350 and double it. So it's $700 immediately, because I know that like I said, I'm going to spend at least half the time going in and scanning and editing and photographing and applying the hanging wire in the back and packaging and wrapping and transporting and all the wonderful good things. And then someone will end up taking 30 to 50% if they sell it. So now after that, I'm left with the $350. And factor that out by 10, 12 hours. I subtract the $50 in supplies, so now I have $300, and then divide that by the 10 hours, and suddenly I'm at $30 an hour. So that's livable. if I sold a painting every day. So, it's just, you have to feel out what that's worth to you. Next, I have this happen actually a lot where, let's say I have a painting that somebody loves and they love it, but this painting's in red and blues, and they decide they want a painting that's in just like it, but browns and golds. I have a couple options. I can say, no, I don't do that. I can say, how about if I just color edit digitally a print that's different? Or I can say, is it worth my time to do that and redo another original? So now if I had originally only priced that painting at $350, my now profit for, we figured out $100, is that worth me getting out of bed and coming to the office and spending, 5 to 10 more hours painting? Absolutely not. If I had priced it at $700, is that worth that profit margin for me to come and completely get all the supplies out and redo that painting? What about if a floral shop calls me and says they have that painting hanging there and someone wants to order the green and brown or the brown and gold one? Is that worth half of that price I have on there to redo an original? And it does happen. So that's something I consider when I'm pricing something. It has to be worth it to redo that item for that price. So, considering that, I would then next think outside of what you would pay for artwork. I know for myself, I am surrounded by people that they paint and they draw and they sing and they create and they scrapbook and they make cards and they make beautiful work. They teach classes. I'm in that circle, so I'm surrounded by creative, lovely, beautiful people. So it starts to seem after a while like everybody can do it. And, there are times where I'm like, oh, God, what is my value? Everybody in the world creates. And it just requires sometimes stepping outside of our box of what we would pay for something and what our income is and who we hang out with, and recognizing that there's a completely different world out there of people that don't live day to day with artistic people, that they need their homes decorated. They want nice things. They're willing to pay for good things, and they're willing to pay a fair price for something nice that makes them feel good. So find those people and price accordingly to those people. Don't try to be the low price leader. Don't try to undercut your fellow artists who are making a living doing this. If you are someone and this is your career and you have rent to pay and costs of, doing business to pay, accountants and people that you need to pay bills to, you can't compete with someone who is maybe, retired, has income coming in and just does this for fun. And you don't need to. I would encourage those people to price up to what their time and value is worth instead of pricing down, so that it kind of evens out the playing field for everybody. But I know not everyone is always going to do that. So I think it's, up to the rest of us to keep our value at what it should be. And I'm not talking falsely inflated. I'm not talking ego driven. I am talking the world is a better place if we women especially band together and create prosperity and claim our worth in the world. When we make that money, it goes to our families, it goes towards a better life, it goes back into our communities, it goes to causes we believe in. Don't think of making money as a bad thing. Think of it as you getting to have a say on what things around you that money goes to. And you're just the person that kind of gets to direct that money traffic. So be confident in your pricing and own it. So I thank you for listening to this on pricing, and I hope that you will be able to say price and own that and stand tall in it and feel good about it and make a living at the same time, because we deserve it and we're worth it. So I hope you will visit me again. I have a great webinar webcast coming up about some different ways to diversify your goods that you're selling outside of just originals. So I hope you will join me. In the meantime, I'd love for you to visit my website. It's www.noellerollinsart.com. say hello, drop me a message. Let me know what you think. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I look forward to talking with you again.